I mean, to
Yeah. Yes, this is going to be live streamed. What's that?
Where would you like it posted? Will people just know to go to YouTube or?
Yeah, just YouTube Live.
Okay.
Okay, we should be live at this point. Glenn, can you confirm?
Yep, I'm just refreshing the page.
Should be a real popular meeting.
Your meeting is live.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Brittany, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the 2021 organizational meeting of the Newark Granville Community Authority. Hard to believe that it's already 2021, but here we are. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can all see the agenda first. So we will get started with roll call. Mr. Busak.
Here.
Ms. Hampton. I know she was having sound issues earlier. I know she is here, so we will mark her here. Mr. Minton.
Here.
Mr. Griffith.
Here.
Ms. Sturgeon.
Here.
And Mr. Waits.
Here.
Okay. Moving on to certification of public notice. So here is the notice that went out, was publicly posted with the YouTube link to this meeting. So hopefully folks are able to find us there if they so choose. Next, we have the election of chairperson, vice chairperson, and selection of secretary and treasurer. So typically what we have done is selected a chairperson and vice chairperson who is not up for re-election in May, just so that we have some consistency and don't have to re-elect if somebody chooses not to run again. So that would leave us with Eric and Betsy, I believe, as the two board members who I'm hoping would be willing and able to fill the chairperson and vice chairperson role. So we will start with chairperson, and if somebody would like to make a motion to nominate one of the two of them or anybody, it's up to you guys, for chairperson, if you want to entertain a motion at this time.
Brittany,
I'll nominate Mrs. Hampton for chairperson.
Okay.
That's nice. Who is the current vice chair?
It is Todd Griffith.
Oh, okay.
Do we need to nominate a vice chair right now too?
We will do a second on the chairperson vote, and then we'll do vice chair.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second for Ms. Hampton as chairperson. All those in favor of electing Ms. Hampton as chairperson, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Now we will entertain a motion for vice chairperson.
Okay, this is Betsy. So now that can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, well, I wasn't fast enough to nominate Eric for vice chair or for chair, so I'll nominate him for vice chair.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll second.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of electing Mr. Minton as vice chairperson, please signify by stating aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Fantastic. All right, moving on to secretary / treasurer. So at this point, I will share, although it's not completely relevant to this motion, but I will actually be on maternity leave during our next meeting in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am due March 8th, so plan to return around June 1st. And actually, Todd Griffith, he's the treasurer at Licking Heights, he's actually going to fill in as interim treasurer for me during that time. So we will still make a motion and everything to assign me to this role. But then Jeff will run the election in May, and then Todd will run the finance committee meeting. So any questions or concerns about that before we move to this motion?
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. So we need a motion then to nominate me as the secretary / treasurer.
I'll move.
I second.
Who was the second? Sorry.
Eric.
Oh, thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of appointing me as the secretary / treasurer, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. And motion carries. All right. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes from our May 21st, 2020 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
All motion to approve. This is Eric.
Thank you.
And this is Betsy. I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or discussion on the minutes? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the May 21st, 2020 meeting, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. And motion carried. Okay, next item on the agenda is election reports and communications from officers of the board. I do not have anything else to share at this time. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to communicate with the board? Okay. Hearing
This
none,
is
we
Betsy.
will.
I guess,
Oh, go ahead, Betsy.
sorry, don't know if this is a time for it or not, but I know for those of us in Park Trails, there's the planning meeting tomorrow about the new subdivision. And I was just wondering if the school is going to make any kind of concerted effort to have the new subdivision be part of the Newark Granville Community Authority also.
So Betsy, I'll take that question. The board is actually going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We are watching that situation, but they are going to talk about the fiscal impact and facility impact of a potential development of that size. But until the board speaks, we're not going to make any additional comment. And then I will attend the planning meeting tomorrow as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion from the board? Okay. Moving on then to selection of the election chair. So I think for this one, if we want to just go ahead and appoint Jeff to this, since he will be running that for us, we can do that. And then I'm proposing May 17th, 2021 as the election date. Typically we do that. That's a school board meeting night. And we typically do that from 4 to 6. So if that is agreeable to everyone, we will move forward with that, posting that date in time for the election. We also, on that note, and this item does not require a vote, it's more just informational, but also related to the election, we have a vacancy that we will need to fill. So Mr. Barger resigned from his position in the fall, moving out of Park Trails, out of the district. And so we need to fill the remainder of his term. So it will be a 1-year term, and then it'll be up for a 2-year renewal after that. Excuse me. So if anybody knows of anybody who might be interested in that, please have them contact me and or Todd and or Jeff with their interest in running for the election in May. That would be great. Okay, next item, resolution number 1 is the authority insurance resolution to adopt insurance and bond coverage for the authority and the board for calendar year 2021. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll move.
And this is Betsy, I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? This is just a standard resolution that we approve every year during this meeting for insurance and bond for the organization. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving the resolution for insurance, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Next item, resolution 2, amending the authority budget resolution that was established for the authority for fiscal year 2021. And I will pull up the budget to show you kind of what is going on here. So originally we had allocated $65,000 for instructional technology, $50,000 for musical instruments, and $50,000 for textbooks. And it's looking like we will not need the full $50,000 for textbooks this year. And also we have had some, there was a really strong windstorm that came through probably a couple months ago now that did some damage to some of the walls and the roof of the greenhouse over at the high school. And so what we would like to do is reallocate $8,000 that we do not need to spend from the textbook allocation to taking care of those greenhouse repairs. So that is what this resolution is allowing us to do. So is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Hey, Brittany, before we move on, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Eric. Just out of curiosity, is that so? Was that just decided on by the district for how to use that extra money? Should we have some input on that? Is that something that in the future, if there is ever some kind of budget where we require to move the money or spend it elsewhere, is that something that we can have a heads up on the specifics of, what you're proposing so that we can maybe input to that, or how does that work?
Yeah, typically what we do in May is we have more of a discussion and talk about,
Right.
Okay, here's several different things. This was just something that came up mid-year, and it also aligned with the fact that it was looking like we weren't going to need the full allocation for the textbooks. So we were thinking this would make sense to throw in here to be able to use these funds this year. If it's not something that the board is interested in funding, that's fine too. We don't have to do it. It's just something that we were hoping we would be able to offset using these funds, but we can certainly have a discussion about it or use it in another way.
Yeah,
Sure,
just to
and
clarify, it will need to be done. The project will need to be done. but we don't have to use this revenue stream.
Correct, yes.
Sure,
Thank
and for
you.
the record, I'm not opposed to using the money for this repair. I'm just curious as, you know, is that something that can be discussed before the meeting, or does that violate the sunshine laws where we have to discuss what it can be used for during the course of the meeting?
Yeah, we kind of have to discuss it during the course of the meeting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yep, no problem.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the greenhouse? I'm not familiar with it.
Jeff, do you want to
Yeah.
take that
So
one?
the greenhouse is part of the AP Environmental Science class. It is run by Jim Redding, and he has a core group of students and it really kind of supports middle school and high school at some points. But it's right behind the high school, and it also is adjacent to the garden that is managed by the AP Environmental students. And right now, currently, it houses our hydroponic water and growing system that was a student-led project.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments on this
I
proposal?
have no issue. I think it's fine.
All right, so
I guess
I'll
we
make,
move, right?
yeah, you can make a motion.
Okay. I'll go ahead and move.
And this is Betsy. I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions, concerns before we take a roll call vote? Or, okay. Sure. All right, all those in favor of approving the resolution to amend the authority budget for the fiscal year 2021, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Let me flip back to the agenda. Okay, we have other business. I think we probably covered that under reports and communications from the board, but is there any other business that anybody has that they would like to discuss at this time? I will just say that Jean and I did get an email account set up, which I think I communicated to the board, but just for the public interest. We do have a ngca at granvilleschools.org email account now that is out there that people can use, submit any questions or concerns that they have. And that is, and then all of these documents are also posted on the website as well. So you're making progress to be more transparent.
So currently, I believe that account is forwarding to me.
Yes, so we will change that to forward that to Betsy after today.
Congratulations, Betsy. I have received exactly 0 emails on that.
So Glenn, you'll have to probably help me figure out how we transfer that, but that's okay. We will work on that tomorrow. But yes, thank you for that reminder.
Sure.
Okay, next item, establish our next meeting date. So typically we meet on the Thursday following the May election. So that would be Thursday, May 20th at 5:30. And we will wait and see if that will be able to be in person or if we will meet via Zoom/YouTube Live again, if that's okay with everybody. And we'll communicate that once we get closer to that meeting. Any concerns with that date that anybody's aware of at this time? Okay.
Good.
All right, well, if there is no other business to discuss, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Your second?
I'll second. This is Eric.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning at 5 49, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you all so much for your time. I